Now, earlier on Coronation Street's Jane Dancer was telling us about the long-running storyline which follows Leanne coping with her stepson Simon's ugly temper. Well, although obviously it's fictional for Jane, you've been in contact to tell us about the terrifying toddlers and teens in your life, and trained psychotherapist Sue Cleaver is here now to take your calls. Welcome, Sue.
In training. Done third year, not done my fourth year.
For us, 3 years is pretty
good. Is that enough?
Yeah, definitely. So let's have a word with Sally. She's got a 9-year-old who's violent towards his sisters. Hello, Sally.
Morning, Sally.
Hello.
Hiya. So to what degree?
Well, it's quite intermittent, really. He gets very cross if he can't get his own way. He's my only boy, and he has a few sisters. And his worst incident was he actually took a knife out the kitchen drawer and said he wanted to kill her. He regularly says he wishes he was dead. He calls us names, wishes I was dead. He wishes he could live with somebody else. It's just if he can't get his own way. And I'm just wondering if that's because he's a boy in a family of girls.
Right, OK. And you said that this just happens at home. Whenever he's at other people's houses, he's very good. In fact, other parents comment on what a lovely behaved child he is. It's just in your home.
Yeah, and his teacher says he's the perfect child. Now, he plays equally with girls and boys at school. He's a great hit with the girls in school, goes on play dates to girls' houses. It's just when he comes home, and it can start the minute he comes out of school.
OK.
Wow. It's interesting, isn't it, that it's only happening at home. I think, obviously, there's going to be that he is the only boy surrounded by girls who can blame him. But what's worrying is trying to get underneath the anger, because when there's anger there's usually another emotion underneath that. And now, whether he's feeling isolated, he's overwhelmed by something, he's just sad. Those are the things that you really need to try and find out what's going on for him. I think with the pulling a knife, there's no two ways about it. If someone pulls a knife, then you need to call the police. You know, and that might shock him enough to not do it anymore. A lot of people aren't...
So threaten him with the fact that if that ever happens again...
And the biggest thing, of course, if he's going to be that violent, is you have to remove yourself and the rest of the family from that situation. That's the main thing. Remove yourself from the room. Don't try and tackle him. Just get away until he's calmed down. But, yeah, if it's got to the point where he is wielding a knife, then you call the police and you threaten him.
Just putting myself in Sally's shoes here, if it was my son... and we've withdrawn ourselves from the room with the violent temper, I'd be worried about what he was going to do to himself, because she said that he said, you know, his own life or their lives, wish they were dead, wish you were dead, I wish I was dead. I'd be worried about leaving him on his own.
I think so, but you've got to protect the rest of the family.
Yeah.
I think the thing is that the key to this is one is to check just check out with the GP whether he's okay, whether there's an underlying condition.
Ever since he was kind of 2s, he had terrible 2s, and you know, we just thought that was the 2s, and then it went to the 3s, and you know, he used to bite them when he was very small. When he was about 2, he used to bite. But I mean, lots of children I know do that, and we just kept thinking he would grow out of it. The mischievous behaviour.
Sally, can I just ask you, how do you react when this happens?
Well, I've tried various things. We banned him from, say, any of his... he likes to play on his Xbox. We ban him from things like that. I've tried the naughty step. I've tried sending him to his room, but because it's a 2-storey building, he says he'll throw himself out the window.
This does need outside help, and I would urge you to go to your GP and try and get a referral for him. I mean, it is notoriously difficult at the minute to get referrals, but I would be really persistent about this, because he needs help. And, you know, you need to get help to be able to help him sort this. And I just wondered, in between times, are you ever able to, when the situation's calm, to say to him, really noticing how frustrated you get and how angry, what can I do to help?
Oh, we do. We ask him, and he just says, get rid of my sisters. And he actually said, because they were all out the house the other day, and it was actually just me and him. And I went up to him, he was in his room, and I said, why can't you be this nice and calm all the time? And he said, I would if it was only me and you in the house, Mummy.
Right. I think you need to get some help, but I'd put aside some special time for you and your son, that you have just time together, because if he's finding his place, he feels like he needs more from you. So I'd give him some special time alone,
regular time that he knows
time together.
it's coming.
It's his.
Once or twice a week, he knows that's in the diary, it's there. It's his time.
But I really think you do need to seek some help. He needs some counselling.
I mean, if there was an underlying issue, wouldn't he act up at school, though? Or that's
you think he wouldn't be able to
understand.
control it in certain areas? You think if it was an issue?
But he's escaped the situation, hasn't he? The situation is at home and around his sisters. He's away from them, and he's you know, so it's not an issue for him.
But he definitely
then.
needs to talk it through.
Definitely needs to
With maybe even sometimes it's better to have an outside party, someone who's not directly involved, just someone to talk
Often
it
in
through.
these cases, your parents, you're too close. You're too close. You need to find someone outside. You know, school might offer some counselling for him. Another member of the family, somebody, extended family or a friend, it might be somebody he'd feel easy confiding in.